Good morning, everyone. Again, I can't tell if I'm live. I used to get a "You Are Live" thing lit up. I don't see it right now. But I'm going to pretend I'm live. And good morning, if you could see me. Good morning, Nanda. Good morning, Danny, excuse me. Okay, so here we are. 6550. Who would have thunk? Remember when 6500 was, oh my God, crazy, and 6400, etc., etc.? Okay, so I don't know why. Let's get this a little better view. So, quick review of yesterday. Um, yesterday, where's yesterday? Hold on. Okay, let's just do this. So, yesterday, soft CPI print. We opened around 35-ish, and that's kind of where we closed round trip. If you see, we popped above 65.50 to 65.55, new intraday all-time high. And then we just kind of, once we broke below 50, there really wasn't a lot going on. And we kind of struggled near the 40 area. Late in the day, we kind of cascaded down. Then late day buyers came in of the 65.30 calls real cheap. They paid between $2 and like a dollar, even less. And then we ripped up. And then the 25 started getting bought. And then the market maker hedging caused us to rip up. And here we are. Note we have 65.15-ish right here. TA 101. The close the day before on Tuesday and the low yesterday. Probably not a coincidence that we ended up there. Another thing of interest, I got 2 minutes. Okay, let's look at this one. Into this rally to all-time highs, VVIX, the demand for volatility, went over 100. That's unusual. Now, I don't know if it was vol up, spot up, but I kind of doubt it. Um, we see TDEX, demand for tail hedges, 3 standard deviations out of the money puts, 30 days out, spike. Now, for context, it's not a crazy spike, but everything has to be taken in context of the day. We saw the same thing with SKUDEX, which is the 1 standard deviation out of the money, the more normal quote unquote hedging. And similarly, VIX pop didn't get to 16 yesterday, but it got wherever, 15 and a half or wherever it got yesterday, almost 16. 9-day VIX went up more than the regular VIX, implying that it's more short term um, action. I also saw some notes about VIX contracts exceeded 1 million. And so I asked AI, and apparently that's unusual. And when I looked around, though, some searches suggested like 22s. But when I look around, let's just look at Gamma Edge. When I look around, it said September's and October's. And this isn't volume, this is open interest. I don't see a huge change here in September. Whoops. Or October. And when I looked at bar charts. Oh, this is okay. I think this is still yesterday before I refresh it. So way out of the money stuff. 60 calls in VIX, 20,000 at 30. The 22 that people talked about, 82,000 there. So I don't see anything crazy, is what I'm saying. Or maybe this is today. So open interest here on the put side is at 15. On the call side, there's all this out of the money stuff. 25, 22. There is 82,000 contracts here. I guess we could say that that's a lot for kind of an odd number like that. So I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. And that's November. Let's look at CPI print. Hold on. Hold on. Hold the phone, folks. Okay. More ECB rate decision, euro slightly lower, whatever. But I mean, ECB. I hate to make my friends in Europe feel insulted. Okay, so here we are, tickling yesterday's intraday all-time high, a little bit above 50. So now market makers have to hedge this out. When the number comes in, the unknown becomes known. Volatility should come out of the chain. The expected move was 30, 35-ish before the print. Let's see what the expected move is now. Whoops. Let's see what the expected move is now. 34. It hasn't really come out here, but they're pretty crappy on updating the expected move in the chain. Tasty, but ES will update real time. So let's just look at E-mini 24. Or we can just kind of see what VIX is doing. Let's just see what VIX is doing here. Quick down and dirty look. Potential spam. VIX from 15, whatever, down to below 14. Those 15 VIX puts might not be so stupid, but people are betting 15 is going to be a floor, which is probably a reasonable bet. Okay, so here we are now below 50 now that things kind of got adjusted for vol and the algos have to do their thing. So we had the soft CPI print yesterday, and some people, like my brother, like other people, the PPI was saying, well, if PPI is soft, but CPI comes in hot, consumer prices, uh, it means that that their cost is being passed on, so that's bad. However, if CPI is low, that's also bad because it means that producers are passing are eating the cost. So the bears make a bad case regardless of what the numbers are, and the bulls make a good case regardless of what the numbers are. Because a low CPI means, well, PPI, the producers. So the question is, are the producers eating the tariffs, and are they passing it down to the consumer or not? That's the PPI CPI debate. Um, and I have no idea. you know, uh, I'll let the market tell me what it thinks, and the market's entitled to change its mind anytime it wants. When I say the market, I mean algos, hedge funds, asset managers, those kind of people. Okay, so 25 basis points is baked in, and this I'm pretty sure cements it in there. We had Adobe earnings. I'm going to look at that. Now let's talk about the gamma setup. All right, so now we're going back down. I'm not sure what the narrative du jour is. If anybody is seeing what the narrative is, U.S. extend gain economic data. Keep reading. I don't want to click that because then I don't know how to get back to the chart. So we'll see how that sells out. But let's go to options depth. Let's go back here. Let's go back to a gamma chart. Okay. Quick gamma 101. Um, Customers buy calls and puts in whatever, in this case SPX. Customer buys a call, market maker sells it to him. Market maker is short the call that he sold, he's short gamma or the put. The opposite side, somebody sells a call or a put, credit spreads, whatever. Like me, market maker buys it, and market maker is long that put or call, is long or short that delta. That's hedged immediately. Then the market maker has to adjust based on how much that delta is going to change if SPX moves or when it moves. That rate of change is gamma, and that's what we're looking at here. Um, why would people be selling options like crazy people like me? Well, we know that historically volatility, implied volatility underperforms realized volatility. There's an extra premium in there. So you're selling that extra premium, and that's why it's sold. Big institutions do it, not just crazy people like me. It's a thing. And they sell it for a lot of other reasons, but we'll just kind of keep it simple. Good morning, Perry. And so what we see here is if over, so this 45 becomes a level that market makers, if we're above it, which we're not, they have to buy, they go opposite the direction of the move as it goes toward it, and they sell as it goes in the other direction. The reason I say don't torture the data in my little note today is there's really not a lot here. First of all, we have small positions, 1,500 contracts, easily overrun, and we have little bits at each level, 45, 30, 15, yesterday's low, below '05. Market makers are short enough to kind of pull us down if we get there. And people sold stuff over here at 75. And so there's really no clear pattern. There just isn't. Now, if we look over here at, I can pretend there is and bullshit you, but I'm not going to do that. Pardon my French. Now I want to look at market maker exposure to just kind of make it crystal clear. This is options depth again. The discount link is through the chain. I'll get to your question in a minute. Um, you see how this is very light blue, basically white. What that means is market makers overall gamma. People say, are we in positive gamma? Are we in negative gamma? And I kind of object to that because market makers have local gamma to contend with. They might be short at one strike, long at another strike. But broadly, this looks at it broadly, we're in nothing gamma. Neutral, we'll call it. With a path of least resistance to 6,500, or path of least resistance up to 6,560, with this 6,530 kind of a main above or below level. Um, where market makers are, where there's a concentration of customers short. Hold on one second. Let me just tell my little buddy here that I can't talk to him right now. Hold on. Okay. So, so what I'm showing you this to say there's really not a lot going on in the gamma space, which is why I say don't torture the data. Now that doesn't mean 'cause I already know how these people roll. By 9:45, there's going to be big positions coming in, and I'm not sure where. Okay, let me see. Uh, do you use gamma updates in real time throughout the day? So if so, it's always on your live Discord. So the updates I get are through options depth of what I use, and also Periscope a little bit. And it updates every 10 minutes from the CBOE, and those updates are reflected. And yes, most of the day, this will be broadcast, like on a live stream, and or I will when big positions come in, I have an intraday update channel, or I send out an alert or something, or I'll send out a updated daily plan. If nothing really important happens, and there's not going to really be, much coming in. But the short answer is yes. The short answer is yes. And we often do. I mean, the bottom of this concentration at 64.75, I kind of doubt. If we're talking about this concentration up here at 85, I kind of doubt. So it looks like 70, we almost touched. 6,500, I kind of doubt it. My guess is that it ends up being a range choppy day. But it would be interesting, sure, it'd be fun. I like it when we get those kind of gives you a good opportunity to kind of scalp in both directions. Let's go back to here. So I was looking at like a short-term E-mini chart up over my head on the upper right, and the bars look really big, but when I look at it in context, it's a nothing burger. Okay, we went up, we went down, adjustment, and now we're kind of right back here at 65, wherever we are, 65.40. We have that path. If we're over 45.50, we do have a path up. Hold on, let me do something. I have that too wide. Let's bring this in a little. Okay, that's better. And I made the chop zone 25 kind of arbitrarily because, like I said, don't torture the data. And we have this 30 reaction level, and so that seems to be where if we break below here, now to break below here, IV would have to kind of increase a bit too. So this would change. I wrote a note a few more than once, a few times, or put it out on Twitter, or wrote a little longer note. How when IV increases, the distribution, the delta distribution widens. Delta gets bigger. One of the inputs into delta is volatility. So delta expands, which has the effect of widening the distribution of market makers' exposure, which basically we run through the levels. We can go into a fancy Greek derivation formula, whatever, but it doesn't really matter. We just have to know that's what happens. And so, really, it's kind of simple. I'd like to see, let's go over here. No, let's not go over here. Let's go over here. And let's go to depth view again. Dashboard. This one is what I want to see. And here I don't remember the exact numbers, but here any changes, and you can hit flow and see the changes. It's just too fancy for me. I have people that do it for me, I'll admit, and I get each 10-minute slice of flow to answer your question. And so, hold on, I'm going to do something else. Give me 1 second. Let me stop screen share for a second. So, in answer to the question about flow, and what do we get? Intraday. So yesterday, for example, in the morning, I gotta find it. Got this kind of information. Okay, let me go back here. Let me go back here. Oh, I got SPX Omega. Let me put my boy on the screen in a second. He's got good stuff. He's a smart guy. So intraday, we get stuff like this. We got this yesterday. 0 DTE 10 wide. Whoops. 0 DTE 10 wide iron condor, whatever it is. 18,000 contracts, wherever they were. And that helps me know where the bodies are buried. Okay, I got to put my boy SPX Omega on. He's got some interesting stuff. Real fancy. Go ahead. I'm putting you on. You can speak if you want to screen share. I'll back away. Oh, okay. Sorry, Doc. Mic issues. Can't talk. All right. Well, next time you get the mic fixed, you're always invited here. I kind of baited with him a little bit. I'm still on his, on his platform, whatever, working with him. But he's a software guy, and his stuff is, you know, he's got things coded to the moon and back. So, but he's got a good product at the end of the day. And so when I started talking to him about it, suddenly he starts telling me about all the coding that he's doing, and he might as well be talking Greek. Well, Greek I understand. Haha, clever. Greek I understand. Get it? That's a joke. Options Greeks. Okay, I'm just messing around because I don't really see what U.S. futures slightly higher after CPI. Okay, we know that. See a little headline down here. Let me get this comment off the stage. Whoop. Oh, so yeah. So I get this kind of data. 10 wide iron condor, whatever day that was. Customer when we were at 6,500. This looks like a day or two old. But we get this, and that obviously helps figure out what's going on. So the short answer to the question was yes. So let's go look for trouble. Whoops, hold on. I'm gonna, and as many of you, some of you know who've been watching this daily. Oh, let me share his secret sauce for a minute. He's got this kind of stuff. Can you talk now? No, mic's not working. See, he's got all this, and he'll explain it. We can't hear you, unfortunately. We can't hear you, unfortunately. So all I can do is say, Look at that stuff, folks. That shit looks good. I don't really know. He's gonna have to explain what it is. We have to. He's got ultimate. He's got all the Greeks, colors, speed, Zoma. He's got every Greek coded here. Um, okay, what do you got on top there? Gex neutral, kind of like what I was saying. There's really no. There's nothing going on there. What does he got? Implied volatility, IVOI. It's hard for us to read everything. It says professional ES options. Is this ES and SPX? Is this ES? Do you have SPX? How do you have that? We're going to kind of try to do this. We're going to use sign language. So only ES. Okay. All right. Well, get busy. Yeah, yeah, only ES. It is complex. It is complex. And but he has some kind of summary thing that makes it consumer human, user friendly. All right. Now I'm gonna. He's showing you all kinds of stuff. All right. I'm gonna take this crazy thing off the screen. Entire screen. Hold on. Okay. Here we are. All right. Now we're back at 50. Don't think anything about that. This pre-market stuff. All right. So what do we want to do and what do we know? Well, we know that I'm up on these little baby trades I did. That's what's important, right? And just real quick, trades from yesterday, ones I do live. You might see here I sold this credit spread for 55 cents, for example. Close it here at whatever, 30 cents. I don't really remember which is which. Oh, this looks like a fly debit that I bought. The point is, I mean, this is just a small demo account. I use live money, but one contract is not really a lot the way I trade. Um, but that's yesterday. Let's get on to today. So what are we going to do? Okay, up 300 bucks. I like that. Working. Okay, so this is one that I sold yesterday at the close. Well, I'm not sure what time I sold it yesterday. It doesn't really matter. So this stuff is going to close out at the profit target. Everything 35 cents. I can close everything out. The only one that's a little bit squirrely is the 85 call for for Friday. And but that's part of a fly here. 85, 80. That's part of a fly. It's a Frankenstein fly. I did it in pieces. Okay. So let's look at what we're doing today. Okay, so forget what I did. Let's let's go to the church of what's happening now. Okay, and see what I would want to do for today. Okay, I have this fly. Yeah, yeah, I probably I bought this fly yesterday for like 20 or 30 cents at 50 mid. I've been doing that lately. And I bought another cheap fly for 10 or 15 cents down at 6,500 mid in case the numbers were bad. Still a fair amount of juice down there if this is correct. And I mean, 85, 70, 55 cents. I'll take that right here, right now. And up on top, see, up on top is not as no-brainery. Since I went 15 there, 90, 05, 40 cents. I'll take that too. I would start with something like that. And then sometimes I'll put it in for more. So let's just say I'll do a second trade and I'll go 55 cents, see if I can get filled. If I wanted to do something tighter, I'd probably go with the same thing I did before, 55 cents for an 80 or 50 cents for an 80, 85. And I'd want to go on the bottom, maybe 95, 90. Was can't really get enough juice, something like that. Try to find some place for 5 wide where you get 95 cents or a dollar. If you go 10 wide, then you can, for accounts of, if you go 10 wide, risking 1,000, you can get $1 selling 95 below the round number, and something like this. You know, you might want to do that. Not investment advice, just kind of. And then, how did I come up with the numbers? Because I got to teach you to fish. And I think I teach you guys to fish pretty good. We had another fishing session last night, right? I had option depth. You'll be more ready tomorrow. Okay, good. So SPX Omega will be ready for Friday. So how do I come up with these numbers? We're not just blindly picking numbers. 85, we have 1,500 sold contracts, good enough. We're saying we won't get there. We got this little stall here, but we do have a path up. So you could get scared out. You could get scared out. On the bottom, so I mean, you'd like to be at 75 and, say above this 85, 90, but then you have to sell more premium. So you have to say, you don't have to do anything. So, but saying yesterday's low on a decent CPI print, um, the expected move is around 25 now, so that takes us to 25 on the bottom. So 6,500. Now here we have this nasty customer long puts down here. So I mean, we could get there in theory, but I just don't think we would. Got SPX data for today from EP. Okay, you have anything that you could show and screen share? Is that what you're showing here? Okay, there we go. So let's see what his secret sauce shows. I'm going to try and narrate. So I see SPXW. That's what we're looking at now. I can't really read it. It's small. Can you show us one panel at a time instead of the six panel? Yeah, there you go. A little easier to read. And so that's a market maker. I'm guessing that's market maker long gamma up there, right there, and thin below, kind of market maker, little short gex below. That's that big. So is that this? Is that the 64.95 area? That big line? The red line at the bottom. Yeah. Is that okay? I can't really read the numbers, but tomorrow when he's talking, And then I guess he has something of oh, this is Vanna, right? And when you're on tomorrow, I want you to explain to people how you use Vanna, why it matters. Oh, this is Vanna by Charm, okay? So we're going up, as you see. All right, I'm going to kick you off and go back to this. And tomorrow he'll be on doing, oh, hold on. My buddy that was here helping us do work is hopping on the airport, so I'm going to mute this for 1 second to say goodbye. Okay, so we're going to talk about the rest of the property stuff at lunch. Um, and, okay, so let's get back to what's going on here. And you can see it's over under 50. What's going to happen? Who knows? Who knows? The big trades will come in, and then it's okay. SPX Omega is saying, sorry, Flash. We call him Flash. Okay, if you do last hour on Discord, can you post a small explanation of these? For those who have never done these type of trades, really appreciate it. Okay, I do them, the explanation. I'll try and figure out an explanation. Usually it's a long explanation, not a short one, but I'll do the best I can. It'll be uh, successive approximations of the explanation. I guess we need to do some educational something on butterflies in general. But if we do the brief, well, I picked my spreads, but I'm further away than you are. If I do the brief explanation of butterflies, and I'm just gonna pick a long butterfly here at random to illustrate it, or no, actually I have one right here. So this butterfly right here, and I'll talk about how I pick it in a minute. What you're selling is where you don't want it to go or expect it to go, and it's a cheap way of being bullish, or in this case, but if it goes past your high number, unless, okay, you got it. A webinar on last hour butterflies and ICs. Okay, you got it. We're going to do that. I'm actually, okay, and I have all those last minute butterflies that I did recorded on Pinball. So maybe we can find some examples of that, or maybe some people that are good at editing would look through that on my YouTube channel and pull a few examples out, and we can talk about it. But yeah, I'm open to I'm open to pretty much anything. But I'm curious now. Phil, yesterday, okay, it's still 30 cents because it's too tight. Because it's too tight. Okay, so he likes the 90s. Is that? I think that might be what I put in. Let me see what I have working now. I might want to change it. Yeah, the 90s. That's what I have in. And we'll see if I can get filled on those. I have them in on different price. Oh, it's yesterday. Hold on, today. Could probably get filled at the 90s, 40, 50 cents, depending. The puts down here, I think, is stealing. Now we could have Ivy spike during the day like we had yesterday, and could get a little fake pain. Yesterday was a great day to add when we went down, and that's what I'm seeing. So for flies for today, we got to think. Okay, well, where might we go based on the limited data we have? Why limited? Because come on, because the size is small. Nothing wrong with the data. The size is small. So one fly would be 45 something or other, nice and specific. So it might be something like 45, if you want to do a wide one, something like this for $3. If you're a cheapskate like me, you might want to do something like this for $1.80. That's not terrible. Um, or you might want to be playing more for the, okay, if we get over 50, something like this, So there's different ways to play it. Like, I don't see a great fly for now. A downside fly might be easier to mess with if we break below that 35-40 level. And a lot of when I do flies at this 60 cents, I like that, 55 cents. When I do flies like this early in the day, I'm not holding this for the end of the day. Where I'm looking, I might, what I'm looking at is path. And I'm saying, well, path, if we break below 45, we have a path down toward this direction. And so that's a fly I'm going to look at. And and then depending on what comes in, I might close it. That should be fine. If you don't mind the little premium, you just want to get free money, that's fine. And typically, algos come in with the five wide spreads at around by 10 o'clock. And I'm not sure what they get. They get about 20 cents aside, 25, 15, whatever. And they haven't been hit yet. They might have taken some fake pain, but they've worked so far. So that's another thing. Um, okay, that's it. Um, like, retweet, comment, all that stuff apparently helps something. Discount links are already in. Let me see what my boy has. 95.85. Yeah, I agree. I like those levels too. I like that too. We have a veteran IC seller over here. Right, exactly. And capture more if we reverse down. Totally agree. Totally agree. Uh, and that's it. I'm going to go catch Volsig, see if he has anything interesting to say. I'm sure he always does. Vol Signals on Twitter. And that's it. Like and subscribe. There you go. That's my girl. That's my girl. Like and subscribe. Now you're talking. Okay. Take care, everybody. Bye bye.